Hey everyone, Feats here with a quick note on this week's episode. This was recorded right at the beginning of quarantine, which greatly restricted our options for recording equipment. As such, the audio quality of this episode is not up to our personal standards, and I am very sorry. But I promise that by next episode it's a lot better, so please bear with us and don't let this episode deter you. Thanks everyone, enjoy the show! Hello, and welcome to 218 Time, a podcast by two guys with an approximate knowledge of many things. I'm Feats,
And I'm Tommy.
and welcome back to the show. What have you been up to lately?
Today I was working on some homework and I decided I need some music that was a lot less depressing than what I was, doing. I think we talked about this before. I'm an anthropology major and I was doing some covering some pretty heavy stuff. So I decided what better album to look at than the Hurry Up We're Dreaming album by M83 that we mentioned
Yes.
last time.
What'd you think?
It was weird.
That's very fair.
It's a really weird album.
It's very weird.
Like friggin' Raconte moi un history.
I was gonna bring that track up. It's
With
just a little girl telling a story about people turning into frogs.
one sec, I'm gonna see if I can find the lyrics for. Oh, I wouldn't even call them lyrics. I heard about this frog. It's a very tiny frog, but it's also very special, and you can find it in the jungle. And so it's so far away from you. But if you can find it, and if you touch it, your world can change forever. So it starts talking about hallucinations and stuff, then laughing, and then it says that everything looks like a giant cupcake. I don't think I don't know if you realize this. She's talking about the frogs that when you touch them or lick them, you start hallucinating.
Yeah.
She somehow found one, touched one, and then saw heaven.
Yeah, I suppose that is what happens in that song.
Because we can be a whole group of friends, a whole group of frogs jumping onto the street, jumping into the planet, climbing up the buildings. Not to get super biblical here, but I'm pretty sure a horde of frogs is one of the sure signs of the apocalypse
Oh,
or something like that.
heck yeah.
She sounds like she's seeing some things.
Yeah. As soon as you told me you listened to that album, I was like, I gotta ask him about that song, because that song's iconic.
It was. I actually. Okay, so I know. I think it was like one of those interval songs. Train to Pluton was dope.
Yes.
It's very short. It's like a minute and a half long, but it was exactly what I enjoy. It was very synthy, very chill, very nice. I'm going. I think to listen to his entire discography.
So, I've listened to his album Saturdays Equals Youth. There is an 11-minute song in that's just kind of like ambience, basically. Kind of dope. I believe it's called Midnight Souls Still Remain, that track. I'm looking it up right now. Yes, Saturdays Equals Youth came out in 2008 by M83. I recommend listening
Mm-hmm.
to it. There are some good tracks on there. Um, I'm personally a fan of Highway of Endless Dreams is pretty good. It's kind of nice. It's relaxing.
Yeah.
M83 is the kind of synthwave. It has a lot of lyrics a lot of the time.
Yeah. Which when I listen to synth, I don't prefer lyrics, but I don't mind it with M83. I would just prefer without lyrics. So that's why I like Train to Pluton.
Yeah, I mean it's a good song regardless.
Have you ever heard this song? It's not really synthy, but it's just an interesting song. It's called Last Train Home.
I don't think I have. It sounds vaguely familiar, but a lot of things sound vaguely familiar to me.
It's a closing to a certain show, at least part of a certain show.
Oh boy.
Can, can you guess what show it is?
Well, I already Googled it, but I shouldn't be surprised. I
Yeah,
do believe it is a certain anime that you were a
a
fan
certain
of.
anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But the thing is, the song has nothing to do with it because it's by a group called the Pat Metheny Group. So the song's been around for a while.
Right. I mean, a lot of the songs in that show are pre-existing tracks.
Yes, or a lot of references are, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, another thing for another day. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the album.
Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it.
I will say the intro track for me hits hard.
Which one is this?
It's literally just called intro. It's right before Midnight City, which is the famous doo doo
Oh,
doo doo. That was very out
yeah.
of tune. I'm so sorry.
Bum, 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 bum,
But yeah, the
bum.
intro just feels very spacey, I guess. I don't know. It kind of like
I guess, yeah.
It's a good band.
Band. It's one guy.
That's true. That's true. One French guy, I believe.
Yes, I believe so. But he lives in L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, my tears are becoming a sea, I think, or soon. No, it was soon, my friend. That was a weird one
Yeah.
where it was like talking about happy things. Also, it's like sad. I'm sad. You're sad.
Guess that's M83 for you. Yeah, it's an odd album, and it's also a very long album.
It was one of the longer ones.
It's like an hour 10 minutes, I think, roughly at least. But it's,
Yeah,
I would say overall worth a listen, at least once.
it's good stuff. I mean, yeah, I would say the at least once. If you don't ever want to listen to it again, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I find I don't revisit a lot of individual songs from it very much.
Except for, of course, Midnight City by M83.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm not as big a fan of that song as everyone else is, but
Um,
I don't think I have much more to say about M83. It's a very good band.
yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah,
For me, it's very much just a few songs here or there
yeah.
I really like, and everything
Bands
else I
though,
like
I'll be
more.
real with you. That's most people who say I like every song from a band or most songs from a band. They're lying. Like everyone constantly talks big about the Beatles, and they had some stinkers.
Oh yeah, I mean, but not the classic number nine,
Number nine,
number
number
nine.
nine. I was clicking around on my computer. Um, I went into Steam just kind of like look, and I went to special deals. And my favorite says recommended new releases based on what you're playing, and the first three are just Borderlands 3. It's not even it's not even anything different. It's just three things of Borderlands 3, and then the last one is Borderlands 3 Season Pass.
Oh, okay.
So they're just like buy Borderlands for you and your friends, and then buy the Season Pass. You've been playing a lot of games though recently, right?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. I found a little something recently
Mm-hmm.
that I've been thoroughly enjoying. I actually have not spoken to you about this at all yet. I recently found a free game on Steam
Mm-hmm.
called Fistful of Frags. It is a first-person shooter multiplayer game, but you are cowboys. It started as a mod for Half-Life in the Source engine.
Just as every game does.
Yes, as all of the best games do. And it came out in, I want to say, the late 2000s? Yes, 2007, and was released as a standalone thing in 2014. Honestly, pretty fun. So, like, it kind of sets itself apart in the way the games work, at least from, I've played a few hours so far, not that much, but the way the games work is you are trying to get the highest notoriety, and you get points for killing people, but,
Mm-hmm.
like, you get more points for doing it in more varied and unique ways. So you have guns, but
Yes.
there's like melee weapons, there's fists. You can kick people off of cliffs or ledges, and if they fall and die, then you get a lot of points. It's great, a lot of fun.
Man after my own heart.
It's a very fun game, honestly. It's got a lot to it beyond that even because there's a bunch of different guns you can pick. There's like different tier boxes throughout the maps that you can go and buy different guns because you're constantly accumulating money throughout the entire game as well. There's like different skill sets that you can do kind of, or you can add different skills. Like you can focus on punching, or you can be like, oh, I'm gonna become good at pickpocketing, or following people's footsteps, or strange things like that. There's a large variety of ways to play the game.
Hell yeah. That sounds fun. I might give it a download.
I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in games like that. It's a little tough to pick up at first because it's slower than most first-person shooters. The reloading is very slow comparatively.
Well, yeah, because it's 1800s.
Yeah, it's trying to like fit that.
Yeah, like in Maximum Action, they have like 1800 guns, and they suck to reload. I hate using those guns, and there's a whole saloon level where that's all you get. And I'm just like, stop, please.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as bad as that sounds. Hopefully, there's also you can dual wield or you can not, and you can pick whether or not you want to like focus right-handed, left-handed, ambidextrous, or I think just kind of like fanning, I believe it's called.
Oh yeah, when you like fire and what's it, the you put the hammer back with your left hand or whatever. It's very inaccurate.
Yeah, it's risky, but if you pick one of those and you like commit to it, you get extra points. It reminded me of another game that I know you know I've been playing a lot recently. Um, Especially, at times where I should definitely be doing other things. A little game called Goldmine Source.
Yes, you've been playing it a lot.
I know you probably got a little sick of that being the only thing I played, but
It
I adore
it
that
wasn't
game.
it wasn't it wasn't even that. Like, I'm glad that you're excited playing a game. It was more that you would always be like, I have to go back to KOTOR. And then I'd be like, hey, what you playing? And you'd be like, I'm playing Goldeneye.
I mean, you're very right, but I have no shame. I did start playing Knights of the Old Republic a few months ago, and I got like an hour or two in. I'm having a good time, but I just haven't gone back to it yet. And I do keep saying, I'm like, I gotta get back to that game at some point.
And then you never do.
I have a bad habit of that, but it's fine. But dude, GoldenEye Source is amazing. So there's the N64 game, GoldenEye 007, which, for the non-video game listeners, hugely influential in the first-person shooter genre. You wouldn't expect like a movie licensed game to be this critically acclaimed, I guess,
Yeah.
but it was like really popular, pretty well made. Probably a little awkward to go back and play now, but a bunch of fans of GoldenEye 007 decided they were going to remake it in the Source engine for free, entirely a passion project. And they've been doing it for like a little over a decade now, I think. And they came out with their last major update in 2016. And it's so much fun. I love that game. I would argue it's very easy to pick up. There's a lot of game modes, but most of them are pretty straightforward. You have your typical deathmatch, capture the flag. There's like the gun game, stuff like that. Typical FPS game modes. But then it's got some more fun ones. Like there's like License to Kill, in which every bullet is a one-hit kill. So that's fun. There's Man with the Golden Gun, which is great, which is typical deathmatch, but there is a single golden gun that is a one-hit kill but has limited bullets. The music is great. A
Sounds
lot of
dope.
remixes. Yeah, a lot of the remixes of the Bond theme,
Oh,
but they sound very distinct. It puts me in a good mood, and the fact that it's in the Source engine means you have all these other maps ported over from the other Source games. It's like there's Counter Strike maps in there. There's a lot of weird fan made maps. There's one map that's just Taco Bell in space, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's great. There is another James Bond game called Nightfire, which is not based on a film. That was released in the PS2, GameCube era. I grew up with the GameCube version because I grew up with the GameCube. I adore the console. Nightfire is also a great game, and some people were also trying to port Nightfire to the Source engine, but that project kind of died from my understanding, which makes me so sad because I would have loved that because the maps from Nightfire are amazing. Office, great map. I'm so glad it's ported to GoldenEye.
like an office from CS Stores?
Oh no, different office. It's the office from like the Phoenix building, I think it's called, in
Uh,
Nightfire. But I mean, Counter Strike's a fun game. I've played a decent amount of Source. Um, Not great at it, and I don't play it regularly, but it's a decent time. And Condition Zero, which is the single-player campaign version of Counter Strike Source, is kind of
I didn't even
fun.
know that existed.
It's weird. I don't really know why it exists, but I think it's solely to give Counter Strike some kind of campaign. But it's also a separate game. You like pick teams and stuff from like characters with stats. It's weird. It's a
That is
strange time.
that's whack.
And Counter Strike Global Offensive is far too competitive and intimidating for me. I'm not a huge first-person shooter fan in general,
Yeah.
but like the ones that I do like are very casual and like they're fun. You know what I mean? You can just have fun with it.
Hey man, fun casual is better than lame competitive.
That is true.
There, I
That's
said
very
it.
true.
I said it.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Source engine. I have been playing Steam and Valve games a lot for almost a decade now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, me too. I know you have billions on billions of hours in Gmod.
Yes, I play a lot of Garrys Mod. Sandbox game takes place in the Source engine, which is what they built for the game Half-Life. A lot of Valve games use that. The entire game, pretty much, like substance-wise, is what the community has added to it.
Yeah,
Because there's so many maps and character models and NPCs and weapons and props, I guess. There's a lot of custom game modes. There's also Prop Hunt, another the other famous one, which can be a lot of fun with the right group. It's got some wacky taunts. I find it very hard, but I also suck at video games, so that doesn't help. But then there's a lot of roleplay servers.
Oh yeah.
The main one, or at least the biggest one, in my experience, is Dark RP,
Oh, of course.
which is kind of like a crime based. I don't know. How would you describe it?
It usually takes place in like a city, and people kind of try to either like make normal lives, which is rare, become cops, which is very common, and then become criminals, which is even more common.
We've had some fun. The very first time I played it, I wanted to start simple, so I became a chef, and I ended up in some kind of drug ring in under like a building in the sewers or something, and then there was a police raid. It was wild. It was a great first day.
Was this with me?
No, this was the first time I ever played.
Oh, because I was gonna talk about the pizzeria.
Yes, would you care to explain?
So it was me, Feats, and then one of our other friends. We had already had a very long time on this server. I wanted to make the game a lot more exciting, so I was like, they have a weed growing system, and then our friend, he wasn't sure what to do, so he kind of jumped on the bandwagon. Was it crack? Was he trying to make crack?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that
To be clear, we're not.
we've already talked about
This isn't real life.
RP, yeah.
We're not
This
condoning
is
these
Gmod.
things.
We don't. But we were like, I was like, I've seen this before on other servers. I want to try this out and make some money on the server.
Yeah.
But Feats, he wanted to make pizza,
I saw the pizza chef job and I couldn't resist.
so we bought a restaurant in the server, and Feats was making pizza, and then I went into the basement and started growing weed, and then didn't know what to do, and Feats went, just go into a different room or something, and you could do your crack or whatever. And then he takes that as he goes into the kitchen and just starts putting all of the stuff to make crack in the different areas of what's it called, the thing. And the police came in multiple times. They were kind of chill with it in a weird way. And then finally, after an hour of Beats trying to make pizza and failing, the mods came in, and you were like, I don't know how to make pizza. I've been trying for an hour. How do you make pizza? And they were like, oh yeah, that doesn't work yet.
It was the most heartbreaking moment of my life.
You were crushed. I was sitting right next to you. You were just crushed. You were like,
I was so sad. We had spent all day on this server. It was a time.
truthfully, it was.
Dark RP has some interesting times. Sometimes you can run for mayor. There's some really whack stuff. One time, my friend became a bus driver and somehow got his bus stuck on top of a hospital and didn't know what to do. It's it's very iconic. Big fan. I recommend it if you're into like storytelling even casually. You can just mess around and have fun in that game.
100%.
It's very easy to entertain yourself.
I make up stories all the time. I have 360, no, like 320 hours in that game, and like probably 250 of those hours are me playing alone, creating stories about how I have to get all 6 Infinity Stones.
Yes, because there is an Infinity Gauntlet add-on, and it is amazing.
Oh, it's the best add-on. It's so well fleshed out. Somebody had way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, one day we'll come back to Garrys Mod, and there's like so much that I've done in that game. So I tried to making a whole like epic story with my friend where we were like just trying to entertain each other, and he had this whole supervillain taking over the world, and there was like different characters. There was a James Bond ripoff coming full circle in a way, named Bames John because we were very original.
You should have just used mine, Savings Bond.
That is pretty good. I can't compete with
I
that.
have my Lego minifigure of Savings Bond right here. He's blonde. He has a hot glue gun revolver. He has a samurai sword. Savings Bond's kind of the greatest detective not detective, secret agent of all time.
Yeah, maybe we'll tweet that out with this episode. So yeah, one of my most played games of all time is easily Garry's Mod. I love sandbox games, but some great games in the Source engine. Have you ever played the Half-Life series?
I've played part of Half-Life 2.
Okay, all right. Half-Life 2 might be my favorite one. I don't really know. The Half-Life series, the main line where you've got Half-Life, Half-Life 2, then Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2. They're fun. I think they're pretty easy to pick up. They've got an interesting, kind of strange world.
Yeah, they have a cool universe. It's just Valve really dropped the ball and could have kept making so much money, and then they just don't.
I don't know what the future of the Half-Life franchise looks like right now because we have Half-Life Alyx for VR,
Yes.
which is exciting and it's great, but that follows a character and takes place, I do believe, before Half-Life 2. And for reference, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, the latest game in the series, came out over a decade ago
Yeah.
and ended on a huge cliffhanger. Same universe, Portal and Portal 2. I'm a big fan of the Portal games. I don't know about you.
I like Portal 1 a lot. I liked the story of Portal 2, but I did not play through it. I watched my dad play through it.
Fair enough.
But Portal is a great game if you're looking for like 3 or 4 hours to kill. It's very easy, it's very quick, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the good thing about Portal is it's Portal 1 is a very easy digestible game and it's got a fun charm and character to it, which is kind of why it took off.
Oh, awesome puzzle game! And the second one had some cool stuff
Yeah,
that it did with the different ink slime.
I believe the Portal games were the first games I got on Steam.
Mine was TF2.
Of course, another Source game, which the original Team Fortress, not really worth going back to. It's pretty generic and like it's fun, but it's not that fun. Team Fortress 2, very fun game, has a lot of charm to it. I think has some of the greatest extended universe content.
Oh, easily. All 10 of the videos are great.
Yeah, because you have introductory videos to each character, and then there's a whole bunch of like short films about them and stuff, and there's comics, and there's like lore, and it's wild. It's actually kind of insane some of the stuff they have. The characters have a lot of charm to them.
For all of those out there who don't know, it's like a hero, a champion shooter, or something where you don't make your own classes. There's 9 choosable characters in it. Each of them has like a specialty, and what's fun about Team Fortress is their specialty is literally in their name. There's the scout, the soldier. The soldier, I guess he's a rocket launcher guy. I guess he's a little less in his name. Then there's the pyro, the demo man, the heavy, the engineer, the medic, the sniper, the spy.
Yes.
And I got that in perfect order too. The soldier has some of the best like lines from his look up the Mitas because they are all hysterical in their own way.
Yes.
Because the soldier has when Sun Tzu built the Ark of the Covenant or something, and he took 2 of every animal, he put them onto a boat, and then he beat the crap out of every one of them.
Yes.
And that's why when you see that many animals in one place, it's called a zoo.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
really the writing in that game.
Yes. For a game that all the characters were supposed to be pretty throwaway, the writing got the comics are insane.
Yes. Oh, Saxon Hale.
The demo man being from a very rich family.
Yeah, and like there's like I think it's the red demo and the blue soldier are like friends.
Something like that.
It might be blue demo and red soldier, but
I think they were friends and now they're enemies.
yes, because there was a whole event
Yeah.
based on that. There's Marasmus.
Yeah, and the demo man's eye that got possessed and attacks people now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the bosses in that game are like kind of deep lore stuff too.
The horseless headless horseman.
Yes. Oh, even like some of the side characters who were not in the game initially have character now, like the administrator, who has a very iconic voice, but also
Oh yes, she also played GLaDOS.
yes. Oh, what's her name? It's like I want to say it's Elaine.
Elaine McLean.
Oh, I was so close. Elaine McLean. Yeah, no, amazing voice actress. Did she sing the songs from the end of the Portal games?
Yes, she did.
Very nice.
I believe she did. Her voice roles also include the Jaeger AI in Pacific Rim, and the Witch in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2.
Yes, the last big Valve franchise, Left 4 Dead, which there's not, from my understanding, there's real no reason to go back to Left 4 Dead, where Left 4 Dead 2 has all of the content from the first game and then some, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and it's also just very interesting. So her filmography is Pacific Rim, Winning Dad, Wish It Inc., The Gamers, The Shadow Menace, which is a 2017 movie. Oh, it's a 2002. Oh, I think The Shadow Menace is a sequel. I'm gonna look that up in a second because that looks amazing. And then Pacific Rim Uprising, and television, she's in Bee and Puppy Cat.
Oh, she's in Bee and Puppy Cat?
Sure.
Hold on a minute.
I don't know what that is.
This is an internet series from Channel Frederator.
Is this the one with Catbug?
No, that's Bravest Warriors.
Ah.
So Bravest Warriors is Pendleton Ward's original follow-up to Adventure Time. Not
Oh.
no connection, but very similar humor. I've seen the first two seasons. It's solid.
Oh yeah, that's the exact same animation style.
Yeah, no, the art style is basically the same.
Is it
Um,
is it any more adult? Like what was it on?
it was on YouTube and then it moved to Verve.
But Ellen McLean, she played GLaDOS in many things.
One of the most iconic video game villains of all time, I would argue.
She played as GLaDOS in Portal.
Hmm.
She played as GLaDOS in Portal 2. She played as GLaDOS in Defense Grid: The Awakening.
I don't know what that is.
She played as GLaDOS in Dota 2.
What?
She played
Oh
as
wait, right, because
GLaDOS.
isn't there an option in that game where you can change the announcer to be her voice or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
She played as GLaDOS in Poker Night 2.
Yes, I was gonna bring up Poker Night. I personally prefer Poker Night 1 to Poker Night 2 because Poker Night 1 has Max from Sam and Max, which is great.
She played GLaDOS in Lego Dimensions, which I'll tell you right now, playing as Legolas, driving around in the Batmobile in the Portal Labs, the Aperture Science Laboratories, was one of the most surreal experiences of my life.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It was really weird.
I want to play Lego Dimensions so bad because it looks like it's basically just Skylanders but with Lego and some big
Yeah.
properties. Like there's The Simpsons, there's Doctor Who, there's Back to the Future, there's Sonic, there's Portal. There's a lot.
She is in Half-Life Alyx.
Really?
Yes, because she plays as the Combine Overwatch, Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 episodes 1 and 2.
Huh.
She plays in a game called Church in the Darkness, but she plays as something called Not GLaDOS as well.
So,
In a game called Electromagnetic Spectrum, the musical.
I'm so curious.
I don't know what that is. I want to look at what The Gamers is, because that sounds like a perfect bad movie night film. Apparently, it's just a bunch of college students playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they get way. Oh, it's like a 48-minute like short, not short film technically. And then there's a mockumentary about it.
What?
The movie both makes fun of gamer stereotypes, plays the discrepancy between an optimal RPG plot and the events of an actual RPG session. It's because apparently they try to apply sneak attack damage multipliers to siege weaponry. So the budget was $1,000.
Whoa, that's so much money.
I very much want to see this movie now. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Oh yeah, The Gamers, the full movie. It is right there.
Oh, well, we haven't seen it yet, but
And then there's a sequel called The Gamers, Darkness Rising. And I think that's
oh.
the one that Plain is in.
Ellen McLean is a very talented voice actress.
She's very talented. She's great.
I love the Portal universe, or at least the Portal section of the Half-Life universe.
They are in the same universe, right?
They are in the same universe, yes.
And that's confirmed in multiple ways, I believe.
Yes, because in the end of Portal, GLaDOS references Black Mesa, which is the company that Gordon Freeman works for and is the company that starts the alien invasion of the Half-Life series. There are other things too that confirm, and I'm blanking on what. I don't think they ever reference Aperture Science in Half-Life. I think it's always just Portal referencing
Well, it's
Half-Life.
because Portal 2 came after all the Half-Life games.
Yes, you're right. You're very right. Maybe one day we'll get a Portal 3. What would the story of Portal 3 be? This time, GLaDOS is a tomato.
This time, GLaDOS is a
Yeah?
apple.
What, Valve, please hire us. We have great ideas. Gabe?
Gabe, we know you're listening. So I'm looking at the Half-Life timeline. It just starts off like normally. The normal stuff is happening. Black Mesa facilities are built. It goes down. It keeps going down. The Eisenhower administration signs a contract with Aperture Science to manufacture shower curtains, all branches of the U.S. military, except the Navy.
That sounds very fitting for this universe.
And then 1969, Apollo 11, and it just stops. That doesn't stop, but like I just think it's funny that it's like all this stuff. It's like, yes, Aperture Science is to a Senate hearings regarding missing astronauts, and then it just goes, Apollo 11 lands on the moon. Which, for those of you who don't know, that happened in real life.
No, it didn't. Kubrick filmed it.
We all know Kubrick filmed. Kubrick was the one who did it.
Yeah, it was Kubrick and and Quarantine Tarantino.
Quarantine Tarantino.
He's totally just legally distinct from Quentin Tarantino. Different person.
Oh, 100%. Hi, my name is Quarantine Tarantino.
I made the movie Pulp Fact.
No pulp fact. No, it's called No Pulp Nonfiction.
Oh my god.
It's just Samuel Jackson drinking pulp-free orange juice the entire time. I, Quarantine Tarantino, helped film the movie ending. Stanley Kubrick.
Yes, I faked the moon landing.
Yes, because I couldn't have. Quentin, I mean, not I. Quentin Tarantino couldn't have helped Kubrick. He was only 6 when the moon landing happened. But I, Quarantine Tarantino, am ageless. Oh my goodness, we're.
Are you good?
Yeah, I think all of this is all of what's been going on is just really tearing this family apart.
Um, I mean, I wanted to go more into like source mods, but if you want to wrap up and save that for another day, we can.
Nah, go into source mods, dude. Just go for it.
I don't know. I feel like source mods is a deep hole to get into.
Well, because it literally created some of the most successful franchises of all time.
Yeah, no, source mods. So Team Fortress started as a source mod. Um,
Counter Strike started as the source mod.
yeah, this is what I wanted to get to a long time ago. There's a game that was turned into. It started as a source mod. I believe it's still technically in source, but it's a standalone game. It's called Know DDay. It is a first-person shooter. It takes place during World War II. You know, pretty typical. But I'll read you this line straight from the Wikipedia page. The premise of the game is that Adolf Hitler has resurrected dinosaurs. You know, pretty standard.
I'd call that a must play.
I mean, I've played like an hour of it. It's fun. There's a lot of different dinosaurs you can play as on either side. I think it's like $10.
The allied classes range from assault troops, medics, and heavy support. However, the Axis have 3 human and 3 dinosaur class.
Whoa.
The human classes comprise assault troops, snipers, and medics, while the dinosaurs comprise an attack velociraptor, Dilophosaurus, and a Desmatosaurus
Wait.
with a cannon mounted on
An attack velociraptor as
an attack velociraptor.
as opposed to a regular velociraptor which doesn't attack? Is that the assumption there? Wild time. There's some other ones. There are a lot of ones based on Portal that apparently there's a unofficial prequel. There's like a spin-off. There's a remake of Half-Life called Black Mesa, like an HD remake, which I recommend. I haven't played all the way through, but I mean, Half-Life Source is a perfectly fine way to play Half-Life 1, but like Black Mesa is very nice, although I think still incomplete. There's the Stanley Parable, which started as a source mod.
That is true.
Very fun game.
From what I've heard, a very good game.
It is. There's not a lot of reason to go back to it after you've gotten most of the endings, but it has a lot of charm, and it's very funny.
Well, isn't it just like an English guy talking?
Yeah, there's a British narrator, and he like responds to what you're doing and cracks jokes. And the whole premise of the game is you're going to this office facility. You're like a mindless office worker, and there's a bunch of different endings. Some are reality mind bending, and some are as stupid as closing the door at the beginning and refusing to start the game. So there's more content coming to the Stanley Parable in this year, actually. There are a couple more popular standalone ones, like there's one called Pirates, Vikings, and Knights 2, which I haven't played much of, but it's another deathmatch FPS, and it's fun. That's a great combination.
This is gonna do.
And the last one I wanted to talk about. Well, apparently there was a Mario Kart port that was never finished, which is tragic.
I'm sure that what's it called? Nintendo would have said no, 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 no.
They really do like to crack down on fan projects, which is a shame because there's a lot of really great fan Nintendo games out there.
Yeah, silly and dumb and stupid Nintendo. Definitely not gonna buy Animal Crossing on Friday.
No way.
No way. I definitely will not be staying up till midnight that night just to play it.
The last one I wanted to bring up, apparently there is an upcoming mod called Jurassic Life, which is a side story taking place during the movie Jurassic Park, and it sounds and looks amazing.
I'm super down for that.
I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park. I'll defend the second movie a little bit. The third movie's hot garbage. Jurassic World's pretty rough. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. No disrespect to the people in the movies. The actors are not bad actors. They're just kind of a mess of a movie. A mess of a franchise, really. Which is a shame, because Jurassic Park 1, amazing movie. But yeah, there's a lot of good mods out there. So many I didn't touch on. There's some cool total conversions. There's some, like, even from early Half-Life days, there's, like, some series about, like, time travel and, like, other sci-fi things. There's some horror ones that are apparently really good. I think Cry of Fear, a survival horror game that started as a Half-Life mod. A lot of popular stuff out there, you know?
Oh yeah,
So,
100%.
it's a great engine. I'm a little biased because I grew up with these games.
Oh yeah, me too.
They're good games. What can I say? Especially Garry's Mod, Garry's Mod Portal, and then Half-Life to a lesser extent. Who am I kidding? They're all worth trying.
100%. Like they're very good. Just pick up, play for a bit games, and then move on with your life. You know.
Yeah, which is great. They're very easy to pick up,
Yeah.
I heard somebody describe the Source engine as very comfortable in a video about Fistful of Frags, which is kind of what made me think about this.
It is very comfortable.
It's nice. It's not always the best. It's got its problems. They're coming out with a Source 2 eventually. Actually, I lie. I think it's already out. They just haven't used it for that much.
Dude, Half-Life Alyx is it's gonna be a full $60 game.
I'll only buy it if it's directed by Quentin. Nope.
No, who cares about Quentin Tarantino? I want Quarantine Tarantino to do my games.
Quentin Tarantino.
Quarantino.
That was
My
not his
name's-
voice at all.
What even was his voice?
Hey, I'm Quentin Tarantino.
Hey, you want to quarantine?
Hey, quarantine.
Hey, my cousin from Limpelli.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm gonna fake the moon landing. I guess that sums up everything I have to say about Source mods, really.
I think we pretty much covered about everything.
Yeah, we had a nice, healthy discussion. Um,
Ooh.
ooh,
Oh. Oh. Hey.
Hey, Quarantine Tarantino.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Quarantine Tarantino. Come back at you with another faked moon landing.
Once upon a time in the fake moon landing. Fake moon landing, volume 1 and 2.
I was gonna say the fake moon landing, Bill. The fake moon landing unchained.
Inglorious fake moon landing. This is not funny.
and then his other hit movie, No Pulp Nonfiction.
That's his magnum opus right there.
It really is a magnum opus. Hey, one second. Quentin Tarantino's only come out with like 9 movies, right?
Correct. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was his 9th movie, and he said he's only making 10.
Reservoir Moon Landing. The hateful moon landing. Once upon a time, there wasn't the moon landing.
It's just 2.5 hours of him sitting there being like, guys, I'm telling you, it was fake. I was there.
I did it. I did it with Kubrick.
I don't know why you don't believe me.
The hateful moon.
Oh my god. Dude, quarantine does wild things to you, both the man and the concept.
Quarantine Tarantino also actually, little known fact. I don't know if you knew this. He also made 9 very famous movies called the Moon Wars franchise. The classic one where Obi-Wan Kenobi says, "That's no moon because we can't land on one." It all starts off with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Moon Landing.
No, it's Moon Wars.
No, sorry, Moon Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Moon Landing. There's also a Star Wars story, Rogue Moon Landing. A Moon Wars story, sorry, a Moon Wars story. Star Wars, The Moon Strikes Back.
Return of the Moon Landing. The reason there's so many movies about it is because he just kept trying to film it over and over again. It just wasn't working.
It just wasn't working. Then the very last one, Rise of not Apollo 11.
And, little known fact, this is the same universe as Half-Life.
Star Trek, not Into Moon. The Avengers, the Moon Wars,
Age of Moon Landings.
Age of Moon Landings not happening.
No, it's just Age of Moon Landings in parentheses. Not.
Captain America Moon Landing.
The first moon landing.
We finally did it.
A really convoluted cinematic universe.
Yeah, and there's always like it always looks like the perfect footage of a moon landing, and then all of a sudden Quentin Tarantino walks out on stage and he goes, "Stop! Cut it! Cut! No, no, this is all wrong." He gives up a stupid reason why. It's just like because you looked at the camera just for a split second. Can't do that, and he keeps it in the movie and doesn't refilm it because it's all done in one take, like 1969, the 1917 sequel about the faked moon landing.
Yes, of course, famously all in one shot. Yes. Oh,
This whole episode's a mess.
it is, but I mean, Quentin Tarantino really popped off these past 5 years. He released like 20 movies. I mean, considering there's like zero editing, I guess it's pretty easy to get them out there.
Yeah, he doesn't edit. There's no special effects.
Well, there are special effects, but they're just part of the moon landing.
Star Trek Beyond. It's they keep the title. It's just they missed the moon completely.
Shouldn't it be Moon Trek?
Jurassic Moon.
Fallen Moon.
Oh yeah, anything that has to do with space. So world, star. It's just replaced with moon.
Oh.
Thor. Ragnar didn't land on that rock. All right, I think we gotta wrap this up.
It's been fun.
Yes, thank you for listening.
We'll talk more Fast and the Furious in the future when we get the
Oh
chance
yeah, we
to
watched
watch
Too
more.
Fast and Furious.
We tried.
Talk about. Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't think you'll have much to say about it yet.
I definitely will not.
Not a great movie.
All right, well,
As we always say, see you in the next episode, and Godspeed.
our reservoir.